Randy Orton is here on the Sam Roberts Show. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
The Viper.
That's me.
Though you look a lot more calm right now.
Oh, I'm calm all the time, man.
You're able, not all the time.
Well, most of the time.
Most of the time. Is that? Have you mellowed out? You're a guy. You're an interesting guy because you've been with WWE for what, 11 years now?
Yeah. I signed 13 years ago. Been on TV almost 11.
But you're only 33.
Mm-hmm.
So like you're a veteran, but you're starting. Your age. There are guys that are starting.
Right
in
now.
WWE around that time.
Yeah. Well, even older than me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that make it for a weird dynamic?
Yeah. You know, it's weird because like Sheamus, for instance, you know, he's older than I am.
Mm-hmm.
Not by much, but you know, he didn't start here. I think it's 3 or 4 years ago. And when you come in and you're 30 and you're a young guy, it's hard to call you a kid, you know?
Yeah.
Like I was always a young guy, and everyone, hey kid. That's just kind of what you call the young guys, you know. But it's, you know, how do you call a 32-year-old guy, hey kid, you know? But yeah, so it does make it a little weird back there. But to be a veteran and to be 33, that's weird too.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
And when you started, they were bringing in guys like you and Cena and Batista and a bunch of guys who weren't doing indies.
Right.
Like you guys were not wrestlers before you got signed.
Mm-hmm.
Are there? Because I was thinking when I was thinking about your career, I was thinking you must have gotten a lot of people upset because you didn't have to come up through the indies. But then I was like, well, all the main guys that came up about the same time as you didn't go through the indies.
Yeah, well, you know, like in OVW, we would, you know, we paid our dues the best we could.
Yeah,
we would run that territory where, you know, we were working. We were having shows in front of people, but, you know, they were free shows or they were very cheap shows, you know, where like our Sunday show might have, you know, 10 people attend, but you're getting experience. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if you can work a crowd of 10 people, you can work a crowd of 10,000 easy. You know what I mean?
It's tougher to do a smaller crowd.
Oh, much, especially doing what we do. Because, like, for me, you know, the louder the people get. Like last night, I keep telling people about Hartford, Connecticut is a good example because they were just so energetic and so loud. When they're like that, you know, we can run faster, jump higher. You know, we're just, you know, we become more superhuman.
And you're not feeling anything. It's all adrenaline.
Right, exactly. So, in front of 10 people, even if they're all just into it 100%, you're not going to have that. You know what I mean? You got to make that up. You got to find the emotion somewhere else. But when they're screaming like they were last night, it's no thing for, you know, to flip it in gear and to go crazy, you know, and grab him, pull him out for a double DDT, boom, and those people go crazy, and it's like, oh, you know, you just.
Yeah.
You know, it's just fucking, it's crazy. You know, it's crazy. And you can just, you feel it and they feel it. And it's just this mutual energy that everyone's getting high off of at the same time.
That has to be a weird thing though, because you have to, like, you guys have these insane schedules where how many, 4 or 5 days a week you're working? And you're doing these, but your matches are 8-10 minutes long. So you got this 10-minute window.
Right.
Where you're getting all this adrenaline out, where this is when everything is happening.
Sure. A lot of preparation, though. Like for me, with the injuries I've sustained, you know, my day, like if I'm doing a live event, it starts at 7:30 on the weekend, a live event, you know, it's not televised. So it's a little less stressful of a show. I want to get there about an hour before the show starts. So I have up till 6:30 that day. And, you know, I get my rest and I get my meals. I get to the gym. Then I get to the arena and I got to start like prehabbing and artificially stabilizing my shoulder by pumping up my rotator cuff muscles so it won't dislocate.
Does it scare you that you have to do that at 33?
No, because I've seen guys like in our line of work, we are hurt.
Yeah.
We're hurting. Don't think like, oh, wrestling's fake. Like, it's not exactly fake. Tell that to Edge, who can't do it anymore because his neck was to the point where he would paralyze himself if he took one wrong move, you know, one wrong turn.
And he's a young guy too.
Yeah, he's my, you know, maybe a little older than me,
right.
Maybe. So, you know, it is very dangerous, but no, it's just a necessary thing that I have to do to continue doing what I love and making good money.
So you were 22-ish when you first started? 20 when you first got signed?
19 when I signed.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was January of 2000. And then I got called up to do dark matches when I was 21. I did dark matches and live events for probably 6 months. And then I started TV as a babyface.
So those are the, but when you're like 19, 20, 21, you feel invincible. What was the first time that you got an injury that you went, oh shit, like this is real, there's an expiration date here?
Right. Well, yeah, my injuries happened quickly, like very quickly. Like after I was on TV for less than 6 months, I dislocated my right shoulder on Raw. Mm-hmm. It's, hanging from, a thread, and God, it hurt. But that adrenaline I was talking about, mixed with the nervousness of being on TV, live TV for the third week in a row. I'd started on SmackDown, which is taped, moved to Raw, like 2 weeks in, bam, dislocated my shoulder. So I'm thinking
2 weeks into Raw?
Yeah. Well, I had been working on SmackDown for about 4 months.
Okay. But you were it was still in your first year of being on television.
It was in the first 6 months.
Wow.
Yeah. So I got this push. I'd got my start. Here we go. And then boom, 4 months. Then I came back. And my first match back, I broke my foot. It was out another 4 months. So I thought at this point, and when I'd come back before I broke my foot, we were going to start Evolution. Me, Batista, Triple H, and Ric Flair.
That night, that was where we
were at a live event in Reading, Pennsylvania. And we were going to do those live events and kind of work. That was the first night I was going to hit the RKO. I was going to start using the RKO and call it the RKO. Didn't get to do that because I broke my foot, and Batista tore his tricep in the same match. So we both got sent to Dr. James Andrews down in Birmingham, and Evolution had to be put on hold.
And at that point,
did that.
But at that point, you got to be thinking, because Evolution is when you were with Ric Flair and Triple H and Batista. For a young guy, you're like, this is a one-way ticket to being a main eventer.
Right.
Are you thinking, oh my God, this isn't going to happen now?
Exactly. But they were so high on Batista and I, they waited.
Did people get mad that they were so high on you from the beginning?
No, because they always got guys like that. Right now, they're high on the Shield. These guys are just the next thing, the greatest thing next to whatever. And, there'll be another guy they're high on. And Ryback they were high on. Mm-hmm. But that's good. They need to get high on guys. And they need to, want to work with somebody or see a guy. And you know what I mean when I say be high on them. They got to want to see this guy succeed and say, you know what, he could represent the company. He could be a world heavyweight champion, and give him that opportunity.
So when you got to the world championship, you were 24, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Does that do you start to lose a little bit of passion somewhere around there? Because I would imagine that you get this goal, right? And you've made it to the WWE. You've now made it to the world title,
mm-hmm.
but you're 24 years old. Like, what do we strive to achieve for the next, 20 years?
Yeah, I see your point. But like at that point in my career, I'm not very confident in my abilities at this point. Nothing like I am now.
So did you not think you were ready for the title?
Oh, God, no.
No.
I was like, are you shitting me? You're going to give me the world heavyweight champion? I'm beating who at SummerSlam? You know what I mean? Him, of all people? I'm going to, holy crap, I shit my pants.
Yeah.
And I had the thing for a month before they took it off me. I wasn't ready, but still the youngest world heavyweight champion.
You just wanted the feather in your hat. You don't care how long. You can hold it for a night. It doesn't matter.
Right. And, my first title run definitely wasn't my most successful. Mm-hmm. But, you learn from your mistakes, and that's what makes us good. The guys that rise, the cream rises to the top, and what makes them good is learning from your mistakes and not making the same ones. And those can be very little, tiny, minute mistakes that the fans don't even see, but we're trying to be as perfect as we can in that storytelling, experience, process.
What's the weirdest thing that you've been called? Like, what's the weirdest thing that you've gone back to the locker room and somebody's yelled at you for and called it a mistake? That you're like, what? Nobody can even see this.
Well, you'd be surprised. Like it's as bad as like you could have a great match.
Yeah.
You come back into what we call the gorilla position, and then you got a couple guys there who, you look to, how was it? But I know at this point in my career if I had a match or not, if it was good or not.
Right.
But when someone says, yeah, you need to keep your hands up more, reality based,
mm-hmm.
You need to keep it, and I'm thinking reality based. So he's shooting me into a set of ropes, and I'm bouncing back at him.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to talk to me about reality base? Because I'm wearing my Speedos? Like, come on. This is entertainment.
Uh-huh.
Let's entertain.
Yeah.
Let's not get, this isn't the UFC.
Mm-hmm.
This is WWE.
Yeah. If it was UFC, we probably wouldn't be bouncing off any ropes whatsoever.
No.
Yeah, if you tried to fling me into a turnbuckle, I'd probably stop.
Yeah, but like UFC, I watched a few of those. Those guys are hard. These guys are hard, but those matches can be very boring. You know, at least like we have the liberty to, we're trying to tell the best possible story, and we have these characters, and you know, like everyone will find the characters that they latch onto and they like or they dislike, and you know, that keeps people wanting to tune in.
Yeah, that's the thing about UFC, because I've watched it off and on. And I was raised on pro wrestling, so that's kind of where my mindset is at for everything.
Right.
But I'm watching it, and like you said, you latch on to a UFC guy, and he's got all this hype behind him, but he loses in 2 seconds to somebody you've never heard of, and that's not where the story's supposed to go.
Right. The good guy needs to win.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't, he needs to come back and then really kick that guy's ass.
Right, give me a reason why he's not winning.
Yeah, but then he taps out again, and you're like, well, that was my guy.
Yeah, what happened?
Yeah, right. You know, I see what you're saying, and I think our fans, you know, they like our product because they're entertained and they know they're going to be entertained. It's not, I might be entertained tonight. The main event might be good. I hope it goes more than a minute, you know, like last time. You know you're going to get a good show. So
you're in 12 Rounds 2. You're the star of 12 Rounds 2, which is out now on DVD and Blu-ray.
Yes.
When you leave wrestling to film a movie like this, and this is, what, second movie?
Second. First one I starred in.
Right.
Yeah. But, you know, first movie really, you know, but I had a couple scenes in one before.
Yeah. So when you get to now, you're at the point now in your career where you're kind of a lot more secure probably than when you were younger. Sure. You know there's a spot for you. Mm-hmm. Is it nice to be able to leave and make a movie?
Well, the funny thing is I didn't leave. I would, on my weekend, which was Tuesday and Wednesday for everyone else, I'd fly and go do SmackDown. And then I'd come back just in time because we were filming on the West Coast up in Vancouver. So I'd have to go through, you know, immigration, get to Buffalo, New York for SmackDown. By the time I got back after filming SmackDown, not only was I tired, time zone, but we filmed at night, that entire movie. So I'm up all night.
Yeah.
So to be up all night shooting, then to get on a plane to fly across the country.
So you're still working a regular wrestler schedule.
Yes, I didn't take time off to do a movie. Yeah, I did both. Jesus. I had a lighter wrestling schedule because I had to do the movie. But, but I made it back each week to stay current with whatever I had going on at TV at the time.
Is it difficult? Obviously, you're used to the wrestling schedule, and you understand it because you grew up with it. Your dad's a wrestler. Your grandfather was a wrestler. Is it difficult for you to start your own family and to bring someone into this world, to try to explain to them what to you has just been life forever?
You know, with my wife, I see that a little bit. Like she, you know, like when I did the movie, like I was just saying, I was gone for 8 weeks, and I was home 3 days in 8 weeks, and that was because of the movie. Then when we were done, we went straight to Europe for 3 weeks. So it's like I was gone, and that's hard on her. My daughter though, you know, she'll be 5, and I think she thinks Dad's pretty cool. And if she doesn't see that every day, that's okay. Because when I come home, like, you know, she has my undivided attention. Mm-hmm. So I make it up, you know. And if I work the 9 to 5, I might see her for dinner each night and right before she goes to bed. But, you know, I do get a couple days here and there where I go home and I can spend all that time with her.
And you have to make sure that you do that, though.
Morning, noon, and night. Yeah. And right. But I'm going to, just the kind of man I am, the kind of man my mother raised me to be, I'm going to do that for my child.
Yeah. Right. And I was watching your DVD and you said that having the kid kind of changed everything. Cause
sure.
Like you said, you start when you're 19. And I would imagine, especially because you said you were like a loser in high school.
Yeah, no, I wasn't. Yeah, I wasn't like the guy.
But now you're one of the wrestlers that girls are actually into.
Yeah.
So how quick did that happen? Was it just party all the time when you became this celebrity wrestler?
No. It was never. Well, I take that back. There was some partying going on. But like really in the last 5-6 years. Not much. Like
yeah, I would imagine now.
I haven't looked for the local strip club, you know, in a long time.
But when you're 22 and you're on the road with Ric Flair, I would imagine
you're looking for strip clubs.
It's a different world.
Rick already knows where they are and has the limo guy ready to take you there. It's in the GPS, locked and ready to go. And he's got a table there waiting for you too.
Yeah.
And probably never mind.
I was also, he's got his favorites all picked out, right? He knows.
Exactly.
He knows where to go.
Yeah.
A thing that I found interesting, though, you were talking about on the DVD about being this young guy and going to the next level and people possibly being upset about it. And you said that one of the lessons you learned was to watch out for people taking liberties with you literally in the ring, like somebody possibly trying to injure you.
Sure.
Does that really happen? Do people?
I think back in my dad's age,
Yeah.
era rather, in my grandpa's era. Like my grandpa.
That's why your dad had to wear that cast for so long.
Exactly. Right. They kept just breaking it. You know?
Yeah.
They just broke his arm. Yeah, my grandpa's thing. He'd always say, "Don't let him AOP you." Like AOP, was it accidentally on purpose?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's an sorry, you know, but they'd give you a belly to back suplex with making a fist under your spine when they land. You know, it don't hurt their hand, but it can screw you up. There's all kinds of little tricks I think those wily veterans back in the day, you know, had to kind of stretch a guy or to hurt a guy on purpose, accidentally on purpose. Nowadays, no. You got guys like Sheamus that hit hard, but, you know, as long as you know, it's in the meat. You know, don't hit me here, and I'm cool.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Keep the moneymaker alive.
Yeah. Right.
Leave my face alone.
Exactly.
I gotta make more movies.
I remember. Do you remember Gene Snitsky?
Sure, of course. Yeah.
I remember Gene Snitsky. I had this big 30-minute deal on TV. This is probably 8 years ago, and all he had to do was towards the end of the match. I'm on the floor. I don't see him coming, and he comes running down the ramp, and all he has to do is just clothesline me on the floor. Mm-hmm. All he has to do. We're going overseas the next day. I turn around looking for Snitsky because I know he's going to be there. Right in the face. Boom. I come up, cut just my lip. It looks like I have herpes for the next 2 weeks. And it's just like, you know, why?
Yeah.
You had one thing to fucking do. Uh-huh. Why?
I accidentally on purpose wanted to make you ugly.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, you know, like I had, you know, you're gonna make me ugly like Eugene. You know, it's actually funny. Snitzy's been gone for the company for a while, but I saw him we were in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania the other day, and I saw him. So, Gene, if you're listening, hello.
How close have you been to losing your job? Because, like you said, the last few years, it seems like you've mellowed out. You've been cool. You've been kind of that established guy, but back, you know, there've been you've talked about the dark days. There's been definitely periods of time when Randy Orton had disappeared from television under mysterious circumstances.
Sure.
How close? And were you ever worried, like, oh my God, I just blew it?
Every time.
Yeah.
Every time. Because I think I was just a little impulsive with my decision making, and I wouldn't really think how it was going to affect me or the others around me. You know, being a dad now, that was the biggest thing when I became a father is, you know, I can't do this stupid shit anymore because I got a kid. Yeah. What am I doing? You know what I mean? So it was pretty much just bam, stop then, you know, and I haven't had any problems.
If for no other reason, then you're going to have to explain to your kid, hey, Dad, remember, how come you lost your job? Well,
exactly. In the internet, you know, the internet's out there. So who knows what archives are being held where of what.
Of course.
You could find out later. But, you know, it's just one of those things. It's life. It's life, man. You make mistakes, you pick yourself back up. But yes, to answer your question, there was probably half a dozen times where I thought, well, this is it.
But you're like one of those child stars that grows up in front of people and makes all their mistakes in their 20s, and then eventually they could either become a legit actor or they don't.
Well, you know, like Triple H would always tell me, like, you know, you're your own worst enemy. Because, you know, everyone at the company wanted to see me succeed. You know, fight Flair and Triple H of all people in my corner.
And I would imagine it would drive people insane that they would give you another chance and another chance and another chance.
And that's what happened. And I can't tell you how many times, you know, I had to be pulled aside and I had to have a one-on-one with Vince. Sometimes Vince and Stephanie. Sometimes Vince and Stephanie and John Laurinaitis. And it was just, you know, what are you doing? You know, you can't
that was a question that they must have just looked at you. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah,
We're giving you it. We're giving it to you.
You can't talk to people like that, you know? But I think I just had some entitlement issues. And so, you know, I thought I deserved this maybe. Or like if there's a long line at the airport, well, I can go in front of everybody, give you $100 and you'll check me in because that's how it works.
And you get mad if they don't.
Yeah, right. Well, my money's no good? Well, no, sir, I can't take your money or I'll get fired. Like, well, fuck you then. You know what I mean? And then, I'm in trouble because I've done something completely stupid.
Right.
You know, and so enough of that happened. And I you know, man, they gave me a couple chances, that's, you know, to say the least.
But it's got to feel good to know that you spent some time as a douchebag and you got the doucheness out.
Yeah, no, you know what?
And you can recognize it now.
And I was a douchebag, and you know what? It's funny. People that I haven't seen for a while, like Trish Stratus. I saw her at the Hall of Fame, and she looked beautiful. Man, she's the natural brunette thing works for her.
I agree,
I don't like
man.
her as a blonde, as a brunette. Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Anyway. she mentioned to me, and like others that haven't seen me in a while, that, like, wow, you've become into a mature adult. This is amazing. And then it all always goes back to being a dad, having a great wife and a good family, and realizing that responsibility that comes with it.
Well, that's one of the reasons that made your DVD was so great, because every WWE DVD, John Cena is painted as this like cartoon, like, I love everybody.
Right.
And the one time you get to see that guy was a dick was when he was talking about you when you were coming up with him.
Yeah. I remember that. That's funny.
Are you glad that you put your family out there on the DVD for everybody to see?
No.
You're not. Do you regret it?
I wish I'd never tweeted a picture of my daughter.
Yeah.
But I remember taking her to swim at a hotel in Miami before WrestleMania. She was probably 2 or 3, and the next day there's all these pictures online of me in my swimsuit with my daughter.
Yeah.
And I've never posted anything like that intimate. Me and her playing in the pool. Maybe a cute picture where I'm holding her and making a funny face, and she's got sunglasses on where you can't really see.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, so it's going to be out there. But putting them on the DVD was like, here's my family, and then letting my wife do the interview where she cried.
Yeah.
That she got some flack for that from these people on the internet.
That's what I was thinking.
Give our wives a hard time, and
Yeah.
that's hard for her. That's hard on her. So
Yeah.
I wish I didn't do that.
Because like the radio fans are just animals,
Right.
and so I avoid at all costs putting any photos of my wife on the internet. I mean, they're
Of
findable,
course.
I guess.
Oh yeah.
But that's the weirdos that I guess are obsessed. Like when you do, for instance, when you do a Google search for Sam Roberts, and you let it auto-complete,
Yeah.
all the first things are Sam Roberts' wife, Sam Roberts' girlfriend, Sam Roberts' Jess, Sam Roberts' wedding, and it's just like, come on.
Yeah. Oh, all the blogs on whether or not this really happened, or fantasy stories. You have any of that?
No.
Oh my God.
What kind of fantasy
I don't
stories?
even want to talk about
People
it.
are writing fan fictions about your personal life.
Fan fiction. Well, me and other wrestlers. Oh, it gets bad. Yeah. Well, there's all these sites, man, and people will come up to me like, check out this site. This is funny. Blah blah blah. And I'll go to it, and I'll. Oh my God.
Who do they have you paired up with?
Oh, Cody Rhodes.
Oh, God,
it's always me and Cody. Oh yeah. There's a setting.
Oh.
We're spotting each other in the gym, and the sweat drips down my cheek and hits my pec, and then drips onto his stomach. It's just horrible. And it's just too much. But
does it make you think that you should get tights that are bigger, like something that's not so skimpy?
Right. I think I've made that mistake a long time ago. It'd be hard to start wearing anything else now.
Yeah.
I have a feeling into my 40s, I will be wearing those Speedos.
See if you can get a pair of jean shorts from John Cena or something.
I
just
was
cover
just
yourself
saying,
up.
I don't know if it was here or earlier, they're all running together, but in an interview I did earlier, I thought, you know what, it would have been nice if I would have been the one to come up with the jorts, the jean shorts, because
sneakers.
that hides it all. You can just kind of chill, not worry
Right.
adjusting yourself or
physically exposing yourself.
Or like you already went to the ring at this point and you need to adjust yourself, but you can't because you're on live television. So you try to you're like, how can I not get an angle where any of the 12,000 people in this arena can see me reaching into my pants right now?
But when you're starting, I would imagine that you're like, oh yeah, I'll get this outfit and chicks will like it. But then you realize that there are dudes that are writing fan fictions and weirdness.
Yeah, a lot of dudes like it too. And hey, whatever, that's cool.
As long as they buy the T-shirt, right?
Yeah. Buy the movie, buy the T-shirt, come get a ticket. It doesn't matter.
Right. And 12 rounds too. Again.
Yes.
DVD and Blu-ray now.
That's right.
It's
out today.
It's got to be exciting for you to be on the cover of a Blu-ray that's a film. It's a movie.
Yeah, no, starring in a film. I never thought that would happen for me.
How invested are you in your storylines now? Do you still do you get upset if something doesn't happen? Do you say, no, this is how we got to do it, this is how we got to do it? Or are you more like...
Well, we, the talent, don't have the power to say, this is what we need to do, this is what we need to do. There's a creative process,
but
creative team.
I've spoken to Punk.
Sure.
And he's getting upset about creative all the time.
Oh, sure.
You know what I mean?
But Punk likes to be upset about shit.
He does?
Oh, yeah. That's his thing, is to always kind of have a chip on his shoulder. And it's funny because I feel like I was the original guy that always had the chip on his shoulder, but I think my demons were a little more deeper than his.
Right.
Guy's never had a drink of alcohol. How effed up can he really be? You know what I'm saying? I get it. But I think he's done a great job. He's obviously awesome on the stick. You know what I mean? And he's awesome in the ring too.
But you think he's trying to find those demons? So if Rage is the demon,
But and I think
there's no wellness violation for Rage.
Exactly. Yeah. 3 strikes and you're out, right?
Yeah. But what was my question there?
Oh, I don't remember.
We just started talking about Punk, and all of a sudden. The storylines. Like, do you get upset if it doesn't go your way, or are you thinking
there are times like the punt kick was banned, and that really pissed me off
because that was your thing.
That was my thing. Arn Anderson came up with it in the summer of '07, and I kicked Shawn Michaels in the head because Arn Anderson. He said, "You know what? What about his rear and back and punting the guy in the head? How much more vicious can you get?"
And it's low risk for you.
Right, yeah, very low risk. Little high risk for them because, I've nailed guys with that thing.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I kicked the crap out of Vince in Chicago, Allstate Arena. When I kicked him, he got a concussion, whether he admits it or not. A black guy, he was bleeding. Like it was.
And that's Vince's fault for everything that he's ever said.
Well, no. He wanted
give it to me.
No, kick me. Yeah, you better kick me.
He's a maniac.
Oh, yeah, he's crazy. Yeah. He's absolutely crazy. But how could he not be?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he sleeps like 2 hours a day. But he's a hell of a boss, and he's there for us, and family comes first. Anyone's got a birth or a wedding or something, they get them home.
He's obviously a crazy genius. He's made this thing work for, we're talking about it.
Yeah, he's a genius.
You're
exactly right. You're exactly right.
But so little things like that. But when they're like, you're in the ring with Sheamus or something, are you like, okay, let's do it. Let's see where it goes. I'll get it over.
Yeah. And most of the time that's the case. Mm-hmm. And like I know Jericho is with the writers a lot, and that's good. There's a couple writers I talk to, but I'm usually kind of happy with where I'm going. Like they've always been real good to me, and I think that they put so much time and money into me. I'm at a point now in my career where, if they need to keep me right here, like I'm not gonna go here. Like I've already made it to where I'm not gonna, in the fans' eyes, I don't think I can really, hurt the character I've made.
Right.
I really don't think so, unless we try to.
Are you happy being a good guy?
I wouldn't say happy, but I'm enjoying it the best I can.
Yeah.
Much rather be a bad guy, of course. I think everyone knows that.
It's probably tougher to make a good guy thing work anyway.
It is. It's easy to kind of look at the guy going, come on, guys, and kissing the baby. Like, look at Cena.
Uh-huh.
I try not to be that kind of baby face.
Yeah.
I can't pull it off. It just comes off as nuts.
You don't like babies that much.
And I don't like babies, right. That's not true. But, I just try to be my own baby face, my own kind of good guy, and keep a couple of those characteristics I had as a heel. And, I know eventually I'll turn back.
Well, Randy Orton, you're a good man, regardless of whether you want to be or not. The movie is 12 Rounds 2. It's on a DVD and Blu-ray right now. Thanks for hanging out, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.